have heard some of my introductory comments about industrial participation, but this is an opportunity for you to, I'll go through a few top-level overview highlights, and then an opportunity for you to also ask some more questions, and I'll answer those that I can. But as we all know, given the competition-sensitive nature and proprietary nature of what we're dealing with in the midst of competition, some things I may not be able to answer, but I'll do my best. So maybe we'll just begin with, I just want to explain a little bit about, at a philosophical level, the Boeing company's approach to industrial participation. So I do roll up, I lead the International Strategic Partnerships Organization of the Boeing company, Boeing Defense, Space and Security, which is also a leadership team position in the Global Sales and Marketing Organization for Boeing Defense. In addition to that, I also represent, I serve as the chair of the Industrial Participation Council of the Boeing company. So I do operate at the enterprise level in that regard to be able to tap into the entire depth and breadth and wealth of what Boeing has to offer for its industrial collaboration programs. So what we do is, most of you know, the Boeing company, an incredibly global company, over 70% of our products are exported all over the world. We have a global supply chain of over 20,000 companies all over the world. And so we are a truly global company with a global focus, but a very also local footprint. And we want to make sure that in every single case, we always tailor make our programs to ensure that it is meeting the very specific requirements of the country in question. So I lead the organization and the teams that have, I have dedicated teams that are specialized only on Finland, in the case of Finland. And of course, as you've noticed, I take a very personal, keen interest in everything we do here in Finland as well. So that's why you do see me showing up very frequently as well. But in addition to that, really, so our job is to make sure that we understand our customers' requirements, exactly what their most important requirements are for the industrial collaboration programs, and then we ensure that we assign the right team of people to go tailor make those programs. The good news about what our team does too is that we're not just responsible for the sales and marketing and telling a nice story. We are also responsible for implementing and executing on the programs, which means that it is particularly important that anything we say we're going to do, and it goes back to that promises made, promises kept culture of the Boeing company, we have to be able to make sure that we can also deliver on them, because my team is responsible for both sides of that point. So with that, the other thing that is important is, I mentioned, being able to bring to bear the entire depth and breadth of the Boeing company. So for technology collaboration, for the know-how transfers, really being able to tap into our R&D networks, our specialists that are across the entire company. Those are important resources that we can bring to a competition that many of our smaller competitors cannot. So it's a nice advantage to have for the Boeing company. And of course, being the Boeing company, it's also a hard company to navigate sometimes for a small and medium-sized enterprise out of Finland to be able to figure out which door to knock on inside of the Boeing company. That's not always the easiest thing in the world. So we do provide that portal into the entire enterprise. We are that one-stop shop that we can make sure that we integrate and provide opportunities for Finnish industry inside of Boeing, wherever they may be. And I'm very proud of our track record. I mentioned it today, again, over globally, we have generated, we have a flawless track record over the past 38 years that we've been tracking our achievements. We've generated over $55 billion in benefits to over 40 different countries. Every single one of them, Boeing is a benchmark in the industry when it comes to industrial participation programs. We have never missed a milestone. We have met all of our commitments to every single customer, to very high customer satisfaction. And again, it is our reputation as the Boeing company that's at stake, and we want to make sure that we always deliver on what we say we're going to do. So I already spoke a little bit about this morning, but what is particularly true for Finland is that it is a proven partnership. It is a place where we have tremendous amount of experience. You know, and I can tell you, I was personally a part of this history. I've been with the Boeing company for 26 years. I came in at the beginning of their original Hornet program as a project manager on the Finnish offset program at that time. You know, and at that time, I can tell you that was a very big undertaking. We, you know, to try to figure out how to generate $3.5 billion worth of economic benefits back into the Finnish economy was not an easy task, but it was a tremendous effort. And again, because of that true, genuine partnership model that we were able to find with Finnish industry, and because of the strong capabilities of Finnish industry, we were able to make it a successful program. It's a program that we're very, very proud of, and again, we would love to be able to replicate that success for the future. One of the things we mentioned is certainly the aircraft production program that went well, but in addition to our industrial participation program, following that, when we completed our program in August of 2000, which was the original life of the program, ahead of schedule, subsequent to that, we also had the midlife upgrade programs. So this again ensured the continuity of the partnerships where we were able to perform to ensure that the F-18s have are fully capable until 2030. 2 different midlife upgrade programs were performed, and again, those were done by our Finnish industry partners right here in Finland. We didn't have to bring the jets back to St. Louis to be modified. We did it right here because of the experience gained through the Finnish relationships. Patria, Insta, and the Finnish Air Force, of course, critical in all of that. So those were tremendously successful programs as well. And again, the proof is in the pudding. Today, 90% of that maintenance and the work that is performed in the support of the platform on the Classic Hornets is done right here in Finland. And that is, again, what we want to ensure for the future program. So what I can commit to you, and this is what I can share with you, for the future program, for the HX competition, if a Super Hornet and a Growler is selected, we are committed to performing on that 30% industrial participation program. Boeing absolutely has no issue trying to get to that number. We're very confident of our ability to get there. Again, based on our track record of success, our previous experience, and based on the knowledge that we have. So we will meet that commitment to Finnish industry. And again, we're looking at a lot of projects, and I can't go into all of those details, but suffice it to say, as you can imagine, a lot of that is around ensuring the service of the platform here in Finland and making sure that we have as much indigenous defense capabilities and autonomy for the Finnish Air Force to ensure the security of supply of that platform in Finland. And I think that was all I had for my formal remarks, but I'm happy to open it up to any and all questions. Again, I think really at the end of the day, it's about having a proven trusted partner, and Boeing knows, based on our experience in Finland, we understand Finland. So we know how to operate here, and we can really bring that to bear for the future program as well. Any questions? Yes?
So Boeing has a couple of offices in Seattle for the UK and for Australia for getting their industries involved in the Boeing supply chain. Is there one for Finland now, or is there going to be one planned in the future?
Yeah, so in the original program, we did have an office based in Helsinki. So I would imagine with a program of this magnitude, we would set up a representation here in Finland, where we would be working that program to ensure that we're meeting all of our milestones to get that total program accomplished. But yes, we would set up here. So the requirements are a little bit different. So in Australia and the UK, which are very big programs for us as well, there is particularly a focus on the commercial division. So that is all about, and that's why the offices that we have set up are in Seattle. It is the Office of UK Industrial Capability, as well as the Office of Australian Industrial Capability. And the big thrust and focus of those programs is to ensure access to the commercial global supply chain of the Boeing company. In Finland, because Finland is also very conscious, as it should be, in making sure that it is being compliant with EU Directive 81 and Article 346, which allows it to have an official industrial participation program, it needs to ensure that all the projects are focused and really focused on the defense sector. So it's a little bit of a different thrust. So we would not open up an office in Seattle because technically the commercial operations are not eligible for an industrial participation program. So a little bit of a different mix. And this is a very good example of the differences from country to country and why we tailor make our programs to ensure that they're individually meeting the unique requirements of every single nation. So our focus would be on being based here in Finland and on the ground in Finland.
As it so happens, a few weeks ago, some were here talking about building the F414 engines locally in Finland. Would you, or perhaps your colleague from GE, like to comment on if a final assembly engine line would be part of the offer?
GE, would you like to
No, I
comment?
haven't got a comment I can really make on that. I mean, we're still working, supporting Boeing on this program, and as before with the previous sale, we'll take on through that industrial participation. We work with Patria now, we'll continue to work with Patria and other local industry, but it's a bit early for us to commit to that. It will be one of the options that we'll consider when we're working with Boeing.